Ever pondered how a single event could change the course of history forever? Picture this. The year is 264 before the Common Era, and two mighty powers are destined to clash in a struggle that will shape the history of the Western world. On one side we have Rome, the rising star of the Mediterranean, a city-state with grand ambitions and an unyielding spirit. On the other side we find Carthage, the established maritime power, boasting a formidable navy and a prosperous trade network spanning the entire Mediterranean. These two colossal forces are not just battling for dominance, but for survival, for the right to write history. This is the backdrop of the Punic Wars, a series of 3 devastating conflicts that spanned over 100 years, forever imprinting their mark on the annals of time. The Punic Wars were not just about the clash of two titans, but also a testament to the impact of military strategy and economic resources. Rome, with its disciplined legions and relentless determination, faced off against Carthage with its unmatched naval prowess and economic strength. Each side had its heroes, its villains, its victories, and its defeats, and each side had its unique strategies that would mold the art of warfare for centuries to come. From the audacious tactics of Hannibal Barca to the calculated strategies of Scipio Africanus, the Punic Wars were a crucible of innovation and adaptation. They revealed the strengths and weaknesses of two very different forms of governance, two contrasting military doctrines, and two divergent visions of how to rule the Mediterranean world. These wars were the crucible in which the future of the Western world was forged. They shaped the destinies of Rome and Carthage, setting the stage for Rome's rise to an empire and Carthage's tragic downfall. Today, we delve into this age-old conflict, unearthing the chronicles of the Punic Wars. Imagine this, two powerful empires, their eyes set on the same prize. The First Punic War, a grueling conflict that spanned over 20 years, was initiated by a struggle for control over Sicily. Rome and Carthage, two burgeoning empires of antiquity, found themselves embroiled in a bitter feud, their ambitions colliding over the strategic island. In the heart of the Mediterranean, Sicily was a jewel both Rome and Carthage coveted. Its fertile lands and strategic location made it a prize worth fighting for. The spark that lit the fuse was a dispute between the cities of Syracuse and Messana, but the underlying cause ran deeper. It was a power struggle, a contest for dominance in the Mediterranean. The war was marked by significant battles, both on land and sea. The Battle of Agrigentum, the first major engagement, saw a Roman victory that set the tone for the war. Rome, primarily a land power, was forced to adapt its military strategies to meet the naval superiority of Carthage. They constructed a fleet from scratch, introducing the corvus, a boarding bridge that turned naval battles into infantry fights. This innovation led to crucial victories in the battles of Mylae and Ecnomus. Yet, the war was far from one-sided. Carthage, led by the ingenious general Hamilcar Barca, inflicted severe losses on the Romans. Despite their setbacks, the Romans persevered, their relentless determination a testament to their burgeoning power. The end of the First Punic War came with the Battle of the Aegates Islands. The Roman victory resulted in the Treaty of Lutatius, which stripped Carthage of its Sicilian territories and imposed a hefty war indemnity. But this was not the end, it was a pause, a momentary stillness before the storm. The First Punic War was just the beginning of a struggle destined to shape the world. In the shadow of this conflict stood two towering figures, Rome and Carthage, their destinies intertwined, their struggle echoing through the ages. The stage was set for a saga that would redefine the course of history. In the wake of the First War, the winds of change were blowing. Rome, the victor, found itself in a period of growth and expansion. The spoils of war filled its coffers, fueling a massive military buildup. Rome's legions grew in size and strength, their tactics honed by the lessons of the recent conflict. Across the sea, Carthage was licking its wounds. The loss had been a bitter pill to swallow, but it had also ignited a spark. Carthage, though weakened, was far from defeated. It began to rebuild, focusing on its economic power. Trade networks were expanded, alliances forged, and resources marshaled. The Carthaginian military, too, underwent a transformation. New strategies were devised, new weapons developed, all in preparation for the inevitable rematch. As the dust of the First War settled, the stage was being set for an even more dramatic confrontation. The tension was palpable, the stakes higher than ever. History was on the precipice of yet another monumental clash. Enter Hannibal Barca, a man with a vendetta, a man with a plan. Born into a family fiercely committed to the cause of Carthage, Hannibal was a military strategist par excellence, a man who would leave an indelible mark on the annals of history. The Second Punic War ushered in a new era, a time when Hannibal, the son of Hamilcar Barca, would lead his forces against the might of Rome. Driven by an insatiable desire for vengeance and fueled by an unwavering commitment to his homeland, Hannibal was not a man to be trifled with. He was a man with a singular focus: to bring Rome to its knees. The crossing of the Alps by Hannibal is one of the most audacious military maneuvers of all time. With a vast army and a multitude of elephants, Hannibal traversed treacherous terrain, braving the harshest of weather conditions and overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles. It was a remarkable feat, one that showcased Hannibal's strategic brilliance and his unyielding determination. His strategies on the battlefield were no less impressive. At the Battle of Cannae, Hannibal's forces were heavily outnumbered, yet through a combination of tactical astuteness and sheer courage, Hannibal managed to encircle his Roman adversaries, resulting in one of the most disastrous defeats in Roman history. But it wasn't all victories for Hannibal. The Battle of Zama marked a turning point. Despite his tactical genius, Hannibal was outmaneuvered by the Roman general Scipio Africanus. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it was a testament to Rome's military prowess and indefatigable spirit. Hannibal was a man of great courage and cunning, a man who dared to challenge the might of Rome. His military strategies have been studied and admired for centuries, and his name has become synonymous with audacity and resolve. Yet for all his brilliance, Hannibal was ultimately unable to vanquish his Roman adversaries. Although Hannibal was a formidable adversary, even he could not overcome Rome's resilience. The final act of this epic saga was about to unfold. The Third Punic War, a tragic culmination of decades of conflict, marked the end of Carthage. The roots of this conflict can be traced back to the aftermath of the Second Punic War. Carthage, despite being defeated, was far from broken. Its recovery, both economically and militarily, alarmed Rome. The city's resilience and resurgence were perceived as a threat to Rome's dominance in the Mediterranean. But the main spark that ignited this war was a dispute between Carthage and Numidia, a Roman ally. Despite their treaty with Rome, Carthage raised an army to defend itself against Numidian incursions. Rome saw this as a breach of the treaty and declared war in 149 BC. The war was a brutal and one-sided affair. Carthage, besieged and outnumbered, fought valiantly against the Roman legions. But Rome was relentless. The city was attacked, blockaded, and eventually starved into submission. It was said that the ground was so soaked with blood it was as if the earth itself was bleeding. After a grueling 3-year siege, Carthage fell in 146 BC. It's said that the Romans razed the city to the ground, leaving no stone upon another. The surviving Carthaginians, numbering in the thousands, were sold into slavery, their culture and identity systematically erased. The fall of Carthage was a chilling statement of Rome's power and determination. It marked a turning point in history, the end of one era and the dawn of another. No longer would the Mediterranean be a battleground for rival powers. Rome was now the undisputed master of these waters. Yet the memory of Carthage lingered on, a haunting reminder of a once mighty city that dared to challenge Rome. Its fall was a testament to the brutal reality of power, the ruthlessness of conquest, and the impermanence of glory. With the fall of Carthage, Rome emerged as the undisputed power in the Mediterranean. The end of the Punic Wars marked a turning point in history. Rome emerged from the ashes of a fierce and bloody struggle, not as a mere victor, but as a dominant power. The city, once just a player on the world stage, now held the strings. The fall of Carthage had left a power vacuum, and Rome was quick to fill it. The aftermath of the Punic Wars saw Rome's influence spreading far and wide. From the Iberian Peninsula to the fertile lands of Egypt, Rome's might was felt. The city's ascendancy was not merely military, it was also cultural and economic. As the capital of the Western world, Rome shaped the course of history, influencing laws, cultures, and economies for centuries to come. The legacy of the Punic Wars can still be felt today, centuries after the last battle was fought. Rome's rise to power, its dominance, and its influence are a testament to the indelible mark the Punic Wars left on the world. History, as they say, is the greatest teacher. This sentiment rings particularly true when we reflect on the Punic Wars. a series of conflicts that spanned over a century, carving indelible marks on the annals of history. The Punic Wars offer us several valuable lessons, the first of which is the significance of strategy in warfare. The Carthaginian general, Hannibal, was a master of strategy, his audacious crossing of the Alps being a testament to his tactical genius. His victories at Cannae and Trebia were achieved not through sheer force, but through cunning and superior strategy. Hannibal's tactical prowess serves as a timeless reminder of the power of a well-executed plan. Yet, as Hannibal himself discovered, strategy alone is not enough. Resilience, too, plays a crucial role. Rome, after suffering devastating losses, refused to admit defeat. Instead, they rallied, demonstrating an extraordinary level of resilience. Their refusal to surrender, even in the face of overwhelming odds, changed the course of history. Rome's resilience allowed them to weather the storm of Hannibal's onslaught and eventually emerge victorious, a testament to the power of perseverance. Finally, the Punic Wars underscore the importance of economic resources in warfare. Rome's superior economic resources allowed them to sustain prolonged warfare, outlasting Carthage despite suffering heavy losses. They could replace their lost armies, rebuild their fleet, and continue the fight. Carthage, on the other hand, lacked the economic strength to maintain their war effort, and this disparity ultimately tilted the scales in Rome's favor. So as we delve into the narrative of the Punic Wars, we are reminded of the interplay between strategy, resilience, and economic strength in shaping the outcome of conflicts. We see how these elements, when effectively combined, can turn the tide of war and how their absence can precipitate a downfall. The Punic Wars serve as a stark reminder of the lengths nations will go to for power and the lasting impact of their struggles. In the echoes of the past, we find the melodies of the present. As we journey back from the tumultuous era of the Punic Wars, we carry with us the understanding of a time when Rome and Carthage were locked in a bitter struggle of power and survival. It was a period that saw the rise of great leaders, the fall of mighty empires, and the birth of strategies that would shape the course of military history. We've explored the relentless fury of Hannibal, the crushing fall of Carthage, and the ascendancy of Rome. We've delved into the lessons these wars imparted, lessons that resonate even today. The Punic Wars, though steeped in blood and conflict, were more than just a series of battles. They were a testament to human resilience, strategic ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of power. As we bid farewell to the Punic Wars, we remember not just the battles, but the people, the strategies, and the enduring legacy they left behind.